Hi everyone. We are going to work through some line and value exercises together today. You will need a sketchbook or paper, pencils, and an eraser. Any pencil will do, but if you want to experiment with different leads, you can try 2Bs, 4Bs, and 6Bs. The higher the number, the softer and the darker the lead, but it's really personal preference. Everyone likes to use something different, so it's really up to you to kind of try. The first thing I'd like to talk about is when you're shading, I would avoid shading back and forth. Once you do that, it starts to flatten whatever you are shading, and it becomes like coloring because it's straight across. And it looks like you've just colored a heart gray. What you want to do are soft ovals and round and curve your lines. And once you start doing that, you'll notice that whatever you are shading starts to become a little more 3D. And it rounds it off as opposed to making it flat. I often use my eraser as a highlighter if something's too dark, so I can get that light and dark. So try soft ovals, and you're going to try to do 7 shades of gray. You can go from light to dark or dark to light, either way. The harder you press, of course, the darker the color. So the first one is a moon crater, and you want to start with the outline and those ovals, but if you want to give the illusion that there's a hole, you darken the inside of the hole, but you leave the rim white because that's where we're assuming light is hitting the surface. Okay, and then you can always add detail. The opposite of that is to draw something and give the illusion of bumps or something rising from the surface. So I start with curves. This was the frog picture. And then you decide where the light source is coming from. And just make sure you're consistent. So if you're going to shade the bottom of the curve, then you do that every single time. I like to have at least 3 shades of gray, like a dark, a medium, and then really for the white part, sometimes I just leave the paper white. Just use the paper to have that highlight. Okay. Hatching and cross-hatching. Hatching is a technique where you literally just draw lines. And then if you crisscross them, we call that cross-hatching. It's another way to shade without drawing like little ovals and making them darker. You can do it with a pencil, of course, but this is a technique often used with comic artists. Because oftentimes if you're using a Sharpie or a marker and you're like, whoa, I can't shade this way, well, you can try this technique and it will have the same effect of having a shadow and rounding something off. Now I want you to just make a box of scribbles. Literally, just make marks. Squiggly ones, straight ones, heavy ones, light ones. Get messy. Sometimes we want to just free ourselves up when you're mark making and just play with, the range of marks your pencil can make. Get outside the box. Make it messy. Using your eraser as a tool to highlight or draw. In hindsight, I might have used a tinier pencil eraser. It might have been easier, but it's kind of fun to do this just to kind of practice highlighting when you've shaded a lot with your pencil. There's a pineapple to practice drawing. So with that, you're incorporating the outline first. Just kind of draw the shape. And once you have the shape the way you like, let's look for where the light areas are and then look at where the dark areas are. So don't be afraid to go really dark and really black, excuse me, to get those shadows. Again, you want a light, a medium, and a dark. Turning a circle into a ball. So a circle is a shape. It's flat, it's 2-dimensional. To round it off, to make it look like a ball, you want to add a light source. Hence, that will give you shadows. So we're going to pretend the light source is coming from the top. I even erased the outline in that part, and I'm again utilizing the white of the paper. So I'm starting with super, super soft ovals. Nice and gentle, circular motions all the way down. As I go toward where the ball is hitting the surface, it's going to get a little darker. And of course, you can even draw a shadow on your table. The trick with shading, and this gets easier with practice, is really blending where the dark meets the medium, meets the light. That gets easier with practice. Okay, it's your turn. Have fun.